own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort entirely up to you. If you need to stop and stretch, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going, keep it going. It's whatever feels comfortable. If you're seated, try to find a comfortable position. And then, as usual, see if you can create space at the front of the body. So raising the ribcage up and away from the belly, making sure that I'm not squashing everything down, encouraging the diaphragm to move better. So I'm going to create a little space, lifting myself up, and then see if I can get a nice belly breath going. So I'm going to inhale, I'm going to let the belly down, and then exhale. I'm going to relax. So see if I can calm down the system. So the neck is relaxed, so the throat is relaxed, so the jaw is relaxed. It's just trying to direct the breath down into the abdomen, into the belly. And then as you keep that breath going, see if you can think of a little scan over the body. So I can feel my shoulders, I can feel my hips, my legs, my head. Am I straight? Am I slightly wonky? Is the pressure the same right and left side? I'm seated. Is the pressure under the seat bones the same, or is it different right and left side? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel at the moment. If I'm laying down, just using the floor, using the mat to help me align the body, the head is resting on the mat, shoulders and hips are resting on the mat. So see if I can try and get in a comfortable position where I can relax, where I can breathe normally without forcing the breath, but trying to keep a nice, calm breath. And then as I feel the breath is a little bit calmer, it's a little bit more settled, more relaxed, I'm just going to start with little movement from the shoulders. I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the head, and then I'm going to press them down and away. I'm going to lift them up, and then I'm going to press them down. So if you can think of the shoulder blades at the back of the ribcage, sliding up and down. So trying to free some of the stiffness, some of the tension from the back of the shoulders and the upper back. 3. 2. 1. I'm going to keep the shoulders down, nice and relaxed, the neck nice and long, and then I'm going to focus on the neck. I'm going to start turning the head to look around one way, come back to center, and then I'm going to turn to look the other way. Compare the two sides and notice if one side feels as if it's easier to turn than the other. One side, I might find that it really pulls. Just make sure that you're not forcing it to the point of feeling pain. And then as you turn the head, see if you can follow around with your eyes as well. So I'm trying to look around and then come back to center. Then look around the other way and come back to center again. 3. 2. 1. And releasing back, returning the head back to the middle, going back into the shoulder girdle. This time, instead of going up and down, I'm going to go forward and back. So I'm going to protract the shoulders, I'm going to pull them forward, and then retract them, I'm going to squeeze them behind. So see if you can think of a nice movement through the upper back as well. So I'm going to pull forward and then squeeze back. If I'm laying down, exactly the same. I'm going to try and pull the shoulders away from the mat, and then I'm going to try and push them into the mat. Pull them away, push them into the mat. Pull them away, push them into the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper back, and then I'm going to focus again on the neck. I'm going to start moving gently from side to side. So bring one ear down to the shoulder, I'm going to flex it to one side, easing my way back to the center, and then I'm going to move down the other way. So think of a gentle stretch coming down the side of the neck. Making sure that nothing is pinching, nothing is catching, there is no pain coming down the arms, and there is no tingling into the fingertips, into the hands. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, returning the head back to the middle, releasing neck, and then I'm going to focus back onto the shoulders. This time, think of little circles. So I'm going to start circling the shoulders around. There will be all sorts of noises, all sorts of clicking and clunking going. As far as there is no pain with the movement, I'm going to keep it nice and big. If there is pain, I'm just going to ease off on the size of the movement. If I'm seated, I've got more space to work with. If I'm laying down, the space is a little bit more limited, but I can still move around. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck, and then I'm going to go back into the neck one more time. This time I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder, and then tucking the chin in, imagine with your nose to be touching the shoulder. Then easing back, turn the head the other way, tuck the chin, coming back, turn the other way, tuck the chin, turn the other way, tuck the chin. So see if you can think of a gentle stretch running a little bit more to the side, back of the head, so from the back of your ears coming down to just slightly behind the shoulder. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the neck, relaxing the shoulders, just a little bit more movement into the neck and shoulder level. I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder joint. So one arm at a time, I'm going to start raising the arm up to the front. I'm going to take it up, take it back as far as I can, and then I'm just going to return it back. With the other arm, I'm going to do the same. Nice and easy, nice and loose. And then I'm going to bring it down again. It's the same as I've been doing so far, making sure that I'm not forcing, I'm not fighting the lift. It feels easy, it feels relaxed on the shoulder. So little movement or big movement. If I'm seated, the arm is obviously heavier as I'm working against gravity. So it might fatigue quicker. If I need the rest, I'm going to take a rest. If I'm lying down, then the arm is lighter, so I might be able to get into a bigger movement easy from side to side. 3, 2, last one, and release it back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back, and then I'm going to move into the upper back. I'm going to start off with a little rotation. So whether I'm seated or laying down, I'm going to stick the arms to the front, keeping the hands apart, bring the hands together, and then I'm just going to start swinging gently from side to side. So rocking from shoulder to shoulder. If I'm seated again, I've got a little bit more space to play with, so I can reach around a little bit more, reach around the other way. Just think of the spine keeping straight. This is a nice long lifted spine. I'm just trying to rotate around it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release it back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. So a little bit more movement into the back. I'm going to move back onto the arms. This time, instead of going into a front raise, I'm going to go into a lateral raise. So imagine a big wave. So I'm going to wave my right arm and then come back, and then I'm going to try and wave my left arm and then come back. So big wave with the right, coming back, and big wave with the left, and then coming back. Again, whether you're seated or lying down, if I want to make the movement a little bit more gentle on the shoulder, I feel that it's a bit stiff, it's a bit tight, I'm just going to keep the wave a little bit shallower, so I'm going to bring the arm slightly forward. If the shoulder is okay, I'm going to go for a nice wide, big one. And then if one shoulder feels different from the other, I could go big on one side, I could just go a little bit smaller on the side that doesn't quite feel right. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to use the mat to guide me. I'm just going to swing one, swing the other, keeping the arm a little bit further away from the floor. If I feel that the shoulder is crunching and clicking a little bit too much. 4, 3, 2, last time. And releasing back, allowing the shoulders, the arms to relax, and then I'm going to move again into the spine. This time, instead of rotation, I'm going to work into lateral flexion. So if I'm seated, if I'm lying down, I'm going to support the head with one hand, and then with the other arm reaching down the side, I'm going to flex to the side, try to reach towards the foot. Then swapping the arms, I'm going to pull down the other way. If I'm seated, I don't need to support the head as the head is still on top of the shoulders. So I'm just going to hold on to the chair if I feel a bit unstable. I'm just going to flex to one side, pull back to center, and then flex the other way, pull back to center. Think of a nice lift up one side of the body and a little drop on the other side. So one side is lengthening, one side is shortening. One side is lengthening, one side is shortening, making sure that nothing is pinching on the side that you're leaning into. So I'm not leaning backwards, I'm not twisting, I'm just easily moving from side to side. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last time. And ease it back. Again, adjusting the shoulders. Ease it through the back. And then I'm going to move back into the shoulder joint. I'm going to try and combine the two directions together. So I'm going to turn it into a circle. So I'm going to raise the arm to the front, and then I'm just going to wave it around the side. I'm going to lift it to the front, and then wave it around this side. So to the front, and then wave round, to the front, and then wave it around. So a nice big circle going with the right, a nice big circle going with the left. Playing again with the size of the movement. I feel that if I go too big, my shoulders start grinding, clicking, catching. In that case, I'm just going to keep the movement a little bit smaller. See if I can find a smoother movement. So I'm not causing pain, tension to the shoulders and the upper body. And then as I keep that movement going, notice the neck. Am I stiffening the neck? Can I relax the neck? Can I relax the jaw? Can I relax the face? 4. 3. 2. 1. I'm going to have a little rest, adjust the shoulders if I need to, and then I'm going to reverse the effort. So I'm going to wave to the side to come up, and then I'm just going to return to the front. Wave to the side, and then return to the front. So I'm going to revert the direction of the circle. So I'm going to draw a big circle the other way. Draw a big circle the other way. And then same as I did before. If I find that it catches, it clicks, it grinds, it pinches, I'm just going to make it smaller. So making sure that both shoulders feel happy now for the movement. It's not causing pain, it's not causing tension. It's just helping me to relax the tension more and more. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Last time. And releasing back. You're giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Again, adjusting the upper body, adjusting the back. And then I'm going to go back into the spine. This time I'm going to focus on flexion extension. So similar to what we did with the shoulder girdle, but this time I'm really going to focus on flexion. So I can use the ball, I can use a pillow, towel, anything. I'm just going to put it into the center of the chest. And then think of the round shape in front of you. Imagine your back to kind of like fold into that shape. So I'm just going to try and round myself into a ball, and then I'm just going to let myself relax. I'm going to round myself into a ball, and then relax. If you're lying down, you will have to lift the head off the ground. To make sure that you're not straining the neck, you might want to hold the towel, the ball with one hand, and then hold the head with the other. So I'm just going to wrap myself in, and then I'm just going to relax back out. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, allowing the shoulders and the back a little bit of a reset. And then from flexion, I'm going to work in extension. So exactly the opposite. So imagine to have the ball behind the back. I'm going to try and wrap my shoulders around the ball, and then I'm going to try and extend over. Sending the chest to the ceiling if I'm lying down, bringing the chest forward if I'm seated, or bringing out through the shoulders. And then I'm just going to relax. So I'm going to try and extend and come back. So if you're seated, as you don't have any kind of like reference point, see if you can think of the movement coming from your rib cage. So I'm going to try and push forward and lift, and then I'm just going to relax. Push forward and lift, and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper body. And then I'm going to move down into the lower back this time. So this time, picture your lumbar curve, so the curve at the bottom of the spine. Can I try and get the same movement that I tried with the top, with the bottom? So can I tilt the pelvis, can I rock back onto the tailbone, and then trying to lift myself right onto the seat bones. So tilting back, and then coming back into neutral. So see if I can feel a little change down into the lower back. So I'm going to try and lengthen it, and then shorten it again. Lengthen it, and then shorten it again. The belly's going in, nice and gentle, tension at the front. If you're laying down, same as usual. Think of pressing the lower back down into the mat, flattening the lower back, and then I'm just going to rock back into neutral. So think of gently massaging the back of the hips and the lower back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, releasing the hips and releasing the back, adjusting the position of the hips, and then from the posterior anterior tilt, I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So think of lifting the right hip towards the right side of the ribcage. So I'm going to hitch up on the right, come back to center, hitch up on the left. Back to center, hitch up on the right, back to center, hitch up on the left. So a nice gentle side to side. So if I'm laying down, I can feel the pelvis and just moving gently, side to side. The back of the pelvis is staying flat against the floor. If I'm seated, imagine with your seat going to pull away from the chair. So I'm going to try and pull up on the right, ease back, pull up on the left, ease back. There's a little tension on the right side of the belly to help me pull up on the right hip, a little tension into the left side of the belly to help me pull up on the other side. A little pull on the right, and a little pull on the left. A little pull on the right, and a little pull on the left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the hips, adjusting the pelvis, the lower back, and then from the lower back, I'm going to move down into the hips. I'm going to start with a little up and down. So focusing on the same side. So if I feel that I need a little support to help me move the leg, I can use my hands if I'm seated, or a strap or band, a towel, so that I've got a little bit more control over the leg as I'm trying to lift it. And then think of a little, it doesn't even matter if the foot doesn't lift off the floor, but see if you can think of tension to the front of the hip that is trying to pull up on the leg, and then I'm just going to ease it back down. So trying to pull it up and then easing it back down. So see if I can picture the muscle shortening to create that little lift, and then lengthening, letting go. So feeling it twitching slightly right into the front of the hip. Belly connected to help me stay nice and upright. So I'm not slouching, I'm not hunching. If you're laying down, same. Think of a nice long relaxed back and a gentle tension at the front of the hip that is trying to pull your foot off the mat, off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and relax. Relaxing the leg, massaging gently the front of the hip, releasing any tension, any stiffness, and then I'm going to try and find the connection on the other side. So using the strap or using your hands around the leg to guide the leg into the little up and down. I'm going to think of that hip closing, the leg pulling away from the floor, and then opening the leg, dropping back into the floor. So closing, and then opening back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relaxing again, giving the hip a little rub, massaging the hip, making sure that again it doesn't feel too tight, it doesn't feel too stiff or too tense. And then from a little up and down, I'm going to move into a little in and out. Same with one leg. So I'm going to keep my left leg nice and still, and then I'm just going to move my right. So think of your right leg like a little flag going side to side. So I'm going to try and pull the right knee towards the left. So I'm going to try and squeeze the leg in, and then I'm just going to try and pull it out and away. So I'm going to pull it in, and then I'm just going to try and pull it out. And then same as you did for the up and down. If I feel that the leg doesn't respond very well to one direction, the other, or both directions, so I can't feel that leg very well, I'm just going to try and guide it with a hand. So I'm going to push it in, encourage it to come across to the left, and then I'm just going to guide it out, encourage it to open away. So I'm going to squeeze it in, and then I'm going to push it out. This is trying to relax into the hip joint as much as possible. Picture it this time attention to the inner thigh that is tightening and pulling the leg towards the center of the body, and then tension from the side of the hip that is tightening and pulling the leg away from the center of the body. So I'm going to squeeze it in, and then I'm going to pull it out. Squeeze it in. And pull it out. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And release it back. Again, giving the hip a gentle rub, a little tap, relaxing the hip, squeezing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the left. So right leg stays still. With the left knee, I'm going to try and move towards the right. So I'm going to pull the leg in. And then I'm just going to try and push it out. In. And then out again. And then same as I did on the other side. If I feel that I need a little bit of a guidance, I'm just going to use my hand to create that movement. If I don't, I'm just going to try and work through the leg. Think of the inside of the leg tightening to pull the leg across the midline, and then the side of the hip tightening to pull the leg out. If I'm laying down, exactly the same control. Pull the leg. Pull the leg to open out as far as I can maintain the hips still. And then I'm going to try and squeeze it back towards the other. Open it. And then squeeze it back up towards the other. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And relaxing back again, giving the hip a little rub, just a little tap, making sure that there is no tension, no stiffness left in the hip, in the joint. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a pushing. So this time I want a little bit more intention, a little bit more tension into the back of the bottom, back of the leg. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to push down into the soles of the feet, and I'm going to drive the hips up and towards the ceiling. So squeezing with the bum, squeezing with the legs. And then I'm just going to ease down. So I'm going to push up. And then I'm going to come down. If I'm seated, imagine to be wanting to get off the chair. I'm going to lean forward slightly, and then hands on the chair, hands on the thigh. Think of putting the weight into the legs. So if I were trying to lift off the chair, and then I'm just going to sit back on it. So I'm going to come forward as if I wanted to lift off and then back into it. It doesn't matter if I can't actually lift off the chair, but see if you can think of the legs driving into the floor. So see if I can keep them strong, keep them stable, so I can put a little bit of weight into them, and then I'm just going to let myself relax back. I'm going to come forward, put a little weight into them, and then I'm just going to ease back. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hips and releasing the legs, and giving the legs a little walk, a little shake, making sure that there is no tension left into the hips, any tension left into the legs, into the thighs. And then finishing off with a little bit of breathing. I want you to put both hands into the belly. You can just below the belly button, so I'm just going to hold on to the bottom of the belly. Then see if you can think of sending the breath into your hands. So I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to let the belly relax. Breathe out. In. Out. So noticing if there is any tension through the neck, the throat, the collarbones, the chest. See if I can let tension. Send all the breath down into the belly. So really trying to relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And then keeping that nice soft breath. If you're lying down, just rolling over onto the side and then slowly pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So leaning against the wall, sofa, just something that is not going to be moving. So nothing that is going to be sliding off when I'm into it, and then obviously cause them into a fall. Finding the seat bones to see if I can bring myself right up onto the seat bones, the same as we did at the beginning. So if you can think of creating space at the front, just to see if I can lift up from the top of the body, allowing the shoulders to relax. I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to push the chest and the breastbone forward, and then lift it up. I want you to be putting the top of your chest or the front of your chest up on the ceiling above. I'm just going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back, and then I'm going to release and come forward, allowing the chin to drop onto the chest and the shoulders to round and back to relax. And then I'm going to try again. I'm going to stand up, lifting the front of the body as much as I can, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward. Last time. Extend it up. Opening up, lifting the front as much as you can. And then releasing, coming back to the front. One hand on the belly, one hand on the back. Take a bow. Give yourself a clap. Any question or anything as usual, please.